How about a cold steel? I've been running a few through the channel lately, and we're going to run another one through. This is a SR-1 Lite. Yeah, so it's like a budget cold steel. It's HCR 14 MOV. I mean, it's not a light knife. It's almost 7 ounces. Grivex handles. It says light, but I don't think that means the weight. I think what they're talking about is that it's a budget piece. You know what I mean? The HCR. It's not S35VN. A lot of these cold steel knives are S35. Ooh, this is a large Marge. This is a big one. Look at the size of this thing. Get rid of this box. Wowie, wowie, man. This is a big dude. I guess the 7 ounce thing makes sense. Yeah, this is like a 80-10 size knife. Let's get that out of there. It's got the triad lock. Oh, come on. I mean, wow. Wowie, wowie, wow. Yeah, wonderful action, man. Come on. Gotta want it. Not sure if I could Spidey flick this knife or not. Yeah. I mean, again, you gotta want it. The grip on this, whatever, the grip, Grismalian, or what they call that? The Grivex. Grivex. Yeah, it's pretty grippy. It's like sandpaper, like 80 grit sandpaper. Pretty nice. But it's all refined. The edges are all smoothed off. Pocket clips definitely knocked down. Yeah, wow, what a formidable piece of steel this thing is. Tall, flat grind. Well, come on, man. Let's see what lies within. Fair enough? Let's do it. That's going to be a T10 or a T12. I'm not sure. Maybe a 10. I think it's bigger than a 10. There's a 10. I think it's bigger than a 10. Here's a 15. Yeah, it's a 15. Okay. I mean, if you're going to overbuild it, right? Yeah, it's got a Loctite heavy-duty screw. Let's get a couple of these body screws, and I think we can come apart. I believe there's Loctite here, too. T6. Big, long one with some Loctite. Yeah. Pocket clips reversible. Yeah, big hardware. It's T6, but I mean the thing's like a ½ inch long. Okay, everything had Loctite on it. This should come apart now. Got a screw there. There it goes. So this one's caged. It's got this steel liner that contains everything in there. So all that's come off is the scale. And my guess is the same is going to be on the other side. It looks like it's got a nylon washer in there. I could pull this other scale. I think I will. You know, it's interesting because it's the washers and the nylon and stuff like that that I think encourage people to not want cold steel. I think they go, you know, it's not on washers, it's this or that. But I mean, in the end, what has to be conceded is that these things are built as tough as tanks, man. I mean, this thing may have nylon washers, but in no way does that minimize the sheer strength of the construction of this piece. Yeah, that scale's not wanting to come. Let's see if I can get this one to participate. And of course, you know, they prove it out, man. Like nobody else tortures their stuff like these guys. Nobody's stepping up and saying, "Hey, let us put our knife through the worst possible abuse and see if it'll hold up." You know, nobody's stepping up and doing that. Look at the size of that stop pin, man. I don't think I have to remove this. I think I can wipe this down, but I do want to get that washer off so that I can wipe all this down properly. I mean, it's just stuck on there with oil. So I think if I can get underneath it, I can pry that up, and then I can wipe it all down. Let me try something a little thinner. Yep. There we go. So it's got 2 nylon washers on either side. 2 of them connected, running in tandem. Well, I say that, but here's one. Yeah, the one side's only got 1. This side's got 2. The other side's only got 1. Okay. Well, let's clean it all up. We're going to clean it up, put it back together, lube it up. I don't think I want to mess with the tension on the spring. And I do that with these triad locks. I'll loosen that spring a little bit. It's kind of like a spyderco. You know, they put their pre-tension on it, and I find that it's a little more than I want. I want the action to be a little freer, and the knife still locks up wonderfully. You know, this is a pinch point on these, is that the spring is held in this plastic. I mean, I'm not sure why that's a pinch point. Maybe somebody somewhere had one fail because that's not a metal piece. I'm not aware of it though. But I'm stupid, man. What do I know? I don't, I'm not reading the journals, man, if there are such a thing. Yeah. Me personally, these knives are just, I'm not going to say they're bulletproof. Anything can be made to fail, and it's a folding knife. You can get $1,000 fixed blade knife and break it in half. You know what I mean? But these are so well built, man. And I have to believe that part of the reason they're so well built is because of the way that they decided to test their product. Like, they truly put the lock to some horrible abuse, and if it doesn't pass, how do they keep their reputation and just go, yeah, oh well, yeah, we made that one, it's not as good as the others, it fails? No, I'm pretty sure that testing drives their product versus their product driving the testing, or no testing, because if, y'all know some of these knives, man, if the manufacturer tested them, we wouldn't have the knife because they would test horribly. Bad design, unsafe, locks that don't function, or fail, whatever. And so I don't carry a cold steel knife. Matter of fact, what's still in my pocket is my kubey by Mikkel Williamson. It's my Bravo 1 in G10, and I think it's D2. No, it's Aus 10 steel. I just put an edge on it last night. I've been wearing this thing out. This stonewash coating holds up, and this action. That's what's been in my pocket. I've had this thing in my pocket for months. Just got in my hands, and just, it fits me, so I carry it. So my point being, I'm not a cold steel fanboy, but the truth, look at this blade stock. And this blade right here, this HCR, is going to be, I'll be stunned if it's not sharp as a razor blade. We'll see. I'm not a fanboy, but golly, I just can't help but acknowledge the toughness of their stuff. And you don't got to pay a fortune for it. We'll find out on this one. It doesn't cost an absolute fortune to own their stuff. I am going to take just the tiniest little bit off the spring. I know. What's wrong with me, man? Gotta mess with everything. Yeah, I didn't take much. Like if you're looking at it, you probably can't even see. But I did take a little. A little bit. All right, we're all wiped down. I'm going to start putting stuff together here. Unlike a spyderco, these provide ergonomics to take these apart. Like, you know, these can come apart. And it's just a matter of these different pins and the locations of them and the series at which you put them in. Yeah, now that'll hold that for me. I do, well, I'll wait. So, a little oil. I think the other side had the two. We'll find out if we're not lined up properly. Then we'll know, right? A little more oil. And then we'll get this other pin in. Love it when a plan comes together. Oop, come on, not yet. How about a drop of oil? Boop, boop. And then boop, boop. And then a little more. All right. I think we're ready. I mean, couldn't be any easier, could it, y'all? I mean, you're watching, you see. Let's get the pivot in. It will hold everything correct for us. This 15 torque bit. Come on. I guess. I mean, why not? I should advertise that. The only knife in existence to use a T15. Maybe not. What's that, a mesh guard? Maybe they do. Mid guard? I don't know. I should stop trying to talk about stuff I don't know about. I'm just saying there's some big knives out there that maybe they use a T15. Maybe. Maybe not. These are long screws, man. I think before I go any further, I'm going to check that action, make sure everything's solid, in case I have to take it apart. Ugh. Ridiculous. Gotta watch my fingers because, man, that thing will come down now. It's a guillotine. Look at that. And woo, that would be not good. There's no place to keep your finger here. Like, you just got to get out of the way. Because even if you were right there, if you release that, that's still coming to you. So to me, and I have a few of these, the way to do it is to break that against a leg, and then I can drop it. I'm going to put a tiny tad of oil here along that surface. Yep. And then I'll probably put a little tension on that, like that right there, and run that a little bit, and it will help smooth that out. Little camera issue there. We all good. We're just putting the clip on. Everything else has come together wonderfully on this knife. We're gonna wrap up here. It's been kind of a long video, but we're coming to the finish line. We'll wrap up. Not sure why that one's so tight, but it is. Okay. Oh, the action, man. Look at this thing now. It's amazing. A little tuning on that spring and a little work inside on this knife, and these things become, I mean, and it's the thing that, honestly, I know it is. It's the thing that make people go, oh, it's got nylon washers and this and that. But, I mean, this thing, it's an absolute tank beast of a knife. That triad lock, I mean, it's as tough as you can get. And this is a big, formidable, wonderful knife. Let's talk about that action. So, I mean, it's a guillotine. I have to let it drop on something because it'll come around and smash my fingers. But it's dropped shut once I release that lock. The slow roll is so satisfying on a triad lock. Boom, that thing clicks in and locks up is perfection. But on this one, not only does it have that, but now that I've messed with that spring a little bit, it's got a thumb. I mean, I'm using a little bit of wrist, but keep in mind, man, that's like 4 ounces of blade there. Maybe 5. Spidey flick. I mean, yeah, come on, this thing. So, for what it is, I'm going to say that it's A-level action. It is so smooth and so wonderful. These things. I mean, if you don't have one, this Lite, I'm going to go through price and availability. But when you see what you got to pay for this big behemoth, wonderful beast of a knife, you know, try one if you don't have one. That's all I can tell you is give one a shot. Ergonomics on this knife, I mean, A1, you know, golly, this thing is so good. I mean, it's a fighting knife, really. Look at it. It's like you could give that to a Marine and say, go defend the country, man. Now, pretty sure they want fixed blades, but I mean, if you had to have a folder to stuff in a pack or your web gear or whatever, I mean, man, you couldn't do wrong here. Pocket clip. I mean, it's a good question. If you clip this onto your web gear, is it going to stay there? Is it going to be there when you go looking for it? Yeah, it's that kind of tension, man. This is, I mean, even the pocket clip's no joke. This isn't going for a Sunday stroll. Let me slide this into my pocket. No, this is, man, you're going to put that there, and it's going to be there when you go looking for it. And that's what you want, right? On a serious piece of hardware, and that's what this is. Dryer clip. 7 ounces, but when you put this in your pocket, if I was to put this back here, 7 ounces of knife would tumble around the dryer for an hour, and after an hour I'd pull these out of the dryer. This knife would still be right here. It'd be right where I thought I left it when I left it, and when I need it, it's going to be right where I want it to be. Yeah, Pretty nice. What about safety? Yeah, obviously there's no contact through the back. The tip is recessed below the scales, so it's safe. And the clip is wonderful against that Grivex. Good to go. So the clip's good, the tip's good, and then there's not going to be any incidental in the pocket blade contact with this knife. Wonder if it's sharp. Come on, cold steel. I mean, it's crazy wicked sharp. Feels like it's got a little burr on it. So let's run it on a piece of wood. And then let's just quick, a couple little passes for that HCR. I mean, this thing doesn't have big time steel. Now you can get this SR-1 in S35VN, and I don't think it's crazy expensive. It's not the Lite version. The Lite version, I think that's the main issue, is the steel. All right, let's see how it does on this thin paper. What do you think? I mean, come on. All right. Price and availability, man. Where are these things? What do you got to pay for them? Talking about this budget, this SR Lite thing. Well, how much? Okay, so where's the spot? Amazon. Amazon is the spot for these cold steels right now. So this SR-1 Lite from Amazon is $40. Are you kidding me? $40 for all of this, man. It's insane. This huge triad, wonderful grip knife. Now the Grivex, I mean, you could make a case there. The HCR, maybe you could make a case there. I mean, listen, that's why it's called Lite, but it's light to the tune of $40 for all this knife. So the S35VN with the G10, which I'll be honest, I would much rather have. The G10 and the S35VN, $123 on Amazon. Again, great price, man. Great price. Amazon's the ticket for these cold steels right now. And they have a no counterfeit, no fraud policy with these knives. I don't know exactly what it is, but they pretty much ensure that you're getting the real deal. Yep. Anyways, cold steel SR-1 Lite, or the SR-1. Fantastic knife. Check it out. I appreciate you watching.